Blog Talk Radio.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Women of Golf Show. I'm Ted Odorico, and right alongside, of course, each and every week is none other than LPGA professional and Legends Tour player Cindy Miller, and we are, of course, the hosts of the Women of Golf Show. Good morning, Cindy.
Good morning, Ted. How are you today?
I'm doing fantastic. We got a great show this morning. We're going to be joined here in just a moment by Debbie Waitkus, and, of course, the legendary Marilynn Smith is going to be joining us here. We're going to connect with her in just a moment. But let me just remind everybody, of course, we are live every Tuesday morning from 9 to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here on the blogtalkradio.com network. And best way to find us, of course, is go to blogtalkradio.com and type in Women of Golf and up in the search key, and that will take you to the main page. And as I said, every Tuesday from 9 to 10 a.m. Eastern, we'll be there live. For some reason, if you can't join us live, not to worry. Just visit that link and scroll down to the on-demand section. Of course, all of the shows are recorded, so you can listen to all of the previously aired shows in the on-demand section. Or you can also check us out at iTunes.com, Stitcher.com, TuneIn.com, and now TalkStreamLive.com as well. So just, again, visit any of those social media platforms and just type in Women of Golf, and you'll be able to find us there as well. We'll always love to hear from you. You're welcome to call in during our live broadcasts on Tuesdays. The number to call is area code 347-945-5855. And also you can reach out to our respective emails. Cindy is cindy@cindymillergolf.com, and mine is ted.golftalklive@gmail.com. As I mentioned, we've got two great guests joining us this morning. I'm going to introduce them, Cindy, here in just a minute, but if everyone will forgive me for just a second, I'm going to connect with Marilynn and just call, and then I'm going to do the formal introduction and bring everybody on. So let me just reach out to her and make sure that she is going to be with us.
Morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Marilynn, and Good morning, Marilynn. Welcome.
Is this Ken?
This is
Ted.
Ted, Marilynn.
Ted. Hi, Ted.
Yeah.
Ted and Cindy.
Yeah, and
hello.
That's correct.
Oh boy.
Good morning.
I'm awake. I got up at 5.
That's good. Well, thank you for joining us. Let me just hold tight, ladies, for 1 second. I'm just going to do a very brief introduction for both of you, and then we'll do a little more official welcome, but I just wanted to make sure you were connected with the show. As I mentioned, of course, we're joined by two great guests this morning, Debbie Waitkus, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about her, and then I'm going to, of course, a little more formally introduce as well Marilynn. Debbie Waitkus, of course, is a speaker, author, and consultant who founded Golf for Cause back in 2000 in an effort to empower businesswomen through golf. She's also the co-tournament director for the Marilynn Smith LPGA Charity Pro-Am, which is going to be coming up in a couple of weeks. We'll tell you more about that as we go along. She's also the past president of Women in Golf Industry and co-founder of the National Women's Golf Alliance. Debbie innovatively helps organizations marry golf with their strategic objectives, or as she would say, turn golf into gold. Her book, Get Your Golf On, is available on Amazon, along with the EWGA's foundation book, Teeing Up for Success, in which Debbie is a contributing author. And you can get all that information at her website, www.golfforcause.com. And, of course, I mentioned the legendary Marilynn Smith is joining us now as well. And let me tell you a little bit about her for those of you that maybe are not familiar. At age 20, Marilynn Smith was one of the 13 co-founders of the LPGA. She was and still known as one of the game's greatest ambassadors. And during her career, she won 21 LPGA tournaments, including 2 majors, received the first Patty Berg Award for Distinguished Service, was also awarded the Golf Digest LPGA Founders Cup for her dedication to charitable services, created and promoted the first senior LPGA tournament, and served as the LPGA's president from 1958 to 1960. She also helped start the LPGA Teacher and Club Professionals division as well, along with Shirley Spork. Has met 6 U.S. presidents and was inducted into numerous halls of fame, including the World Golf Hall of Fame in 2006 under the Lifetime Achievement category. And I don't think I could repeat all of that again, but ladies, welcome to the Women of Golf Show.
Thank you very much. Wow, what an introduction. You woke me up. Thank you,
Good
sir.
morning,
nice
ladies.
to be on your show. Hi, Debbie. How are you, Debbie? Hello.
Well, we're honored.
I'm here.
Yeah, we're honored to have both of you on. Cindy, I'm just going to start off real quick, if you don't mind, and then I'll throw it over to you. I know you'll have some questions as well. All right?
Yes.
And I think okay, perfect. All right, Debbie. Actually, I want to start with you, if you don't mind, for just a second. We're going to talk about the tournament a little bit. We've got basically an hour, so we've got lots of time. But I want to talk about, because I know you're a very effective networker in getting things organized and getting people out to the golf course, and that's, I know, has been a passion of yours, as I know it has been for Marilynn's. So I want to talk to you just a little bit about networking to really not only get people out to the golf course, but develop lifelong relationships. Would you maybe just touch a little bit about that? Because I know that's really what you're doing with Golf for Cause, correct?
Yes, it is, absolutely. And I think that, I chuckle, same way Marilynn pinches herself with the life that she's had through golf when that wasn't her intention. I grew up an athlete, and in Cindy's neck of the wood in Buffalo, New York, where it's a doing place, and we skied and we ran and we played every sport under the sun, and we swam in the river and you name it. And golf wasn't on my radar screen. In fact, I never even considered golf a sport because there wasn't a team and, all of that. You don't break a sweat. And when I was working, the guys were hovering over the cubicles and they're talking about this golf outing and this and that. And I worked in a marketing department for an international company, and it was fascinating to me as we, those of us who were the worker bees, judged these guys hanging over their cubicles about how we were doing the real work, and lo and behold, I got dragged out, and I happened to have been pregnant at the time too. And I had zero expectations, clearly, about this whole adventure. And lo and behold, what I had been missing, I hadn't realized. And immediately, the way that it connected me with others in my workplace to begin with, and then as for a personal activity for being able to go out and be with others, and it didn't matter what my skill set was. And I will say I was fortunate in that I had been an athlete. I was able to take in what the playing field and the environment was like, and if someone looked at me funny, I knew there was a reason, and I wasn't bashful, and I said, okay, so did I do something that was inappropriate? I wanted to be respectful of the environment that I was in and figure out the best way to bring my personality and my skill set to it. And so for that reason, I think I was very, very fortunate. And I know there are so many people now, especially business women, who are like who know that they should add golf to their toolboxes, and all these layers of intimidation. And I didn't have that because I didn't really care. I was invited by people that I worked with, and actually I was their boss. I was their lead report. So they had to be nice to me, I suppose. I don't know. But the pressure that can be put on someone when they feel like they need to do this, when all you want to do is take a step back and say, how do I bring myself, my personality, my skill set to this environment and have fun with it and let your personality shine. And that's when someone will want to network with you or further a relationship with you, because I think what we've all experienced around the game of golf is that we're human with each other. the desk is gone, the stiff wardrobe is gone, the adapted style of how we're supposed to be in an environment, whether it's work or even in your family relationships, how you're supposed to be in your family. All that gets stripped away, and we learn how to celebrate and commiserate with each other, and golf is an amazing vehicle for that.
Yeah, well said. And Cindy, as well, I mean, you obviously got into the game not just to be able to play competitively, but obviously to be able to network and give back by helping to teach other players. Do you concur with a lot of what Debbie just said?
Absolutely. She's right on the money.
Yeah, and
no wonder I like you so much, Cindy.
Well, who doesn't like Cindy Miller? I mean, she's a powerhouse in the game and just gives so much of her time and just does so many great things to help so many others. All right, Marilynn, I want to get you into the conversation here as well. And again, thank you for joining Cindy and I this morning. I want to ask you something specific, Marilynn, about, and I want you to go back, obviously, to an earlier time when just before the LPGA was really founded by you and others like Shirley Spork and many of the other great ladies that started it. You obviously enjoyed playing golf, as Debbie just pointed out. You enjoyed getting out there and competing, but it wasn't always a level playing field. Just explain for those that maybe don't fully understand the story why you guys developed and formed the LPGA.
Well, let me tell you this. I wanted to pitch for the St. Louis Cardinals. In my youth, 10, 11, 12 years old, I was the pitcher, the coach, and the manager of a boys' baseball team. And when I came home from pitching one day, my mother said, "Well, how'd you do today, dear?" And I threw my mitt against the wall, and I said, a four-letter word I'd picked up from the boys. And she marched to the laboratory and washed my mouth out with soap. And when my dad came home, she told him what I had said, and he said, "We better take her out to the Wichita Country Club," this is Wichita, Kansas, "and teach her a more ladylike sport." So that's how I got interested in golf, and I thought, gosh, what a sissy game. You hit a ball and walk after it, but you soon find out a humbling game. And but back in those days, in the 40s, girls weren't supposed to be playing golf. We were supposed to be married and have children and doing the dishes and raising a family. So it was quite unusual that in 1950, in my hometown of Wichita, Kansas, at the Rolling Hills Country Club, 13 of us gave birth to the LPGA, and we faced quite a few physical challenges in those early days. We traveled by car, often caravan style, and we had long distances like Spokane, Washington to Waterloo, Iowa, 1,600 miles. So, and we played courses. People don't realize we played courses from the men's tees 6,400 to 6,900 yards long, and the Concord Hotel in Kiamish, New York, didn't want us to score well, so they pushed us way back. And it rained the night before, and the course played about 7,200 yards long. And Shirley Engelhorn shot 77, 76, 76, hitting a 2-iron off the tee sometimes to go over the water puddles, in the fairway. So, but I wanted to tell you about one tournament we had in Chicago, and the wind was blowing about 60 miles an hour, and I was playing golf with Louise Suggs, Shirley Spork, and in fact, Shirley took a swing one time, and the wind blew her over, and she whiffed the ball, and we laughed. We thought that was funny. Well, when we ended up, Louise Suggs shot a 78 in that 60-mile-an-hour wind, and I don't think we compare the girls of yesteryear with the girls today because, as you know, Babesy Harris was our marquee player, and when she died in 1956, we almost went down the drain, so to speak. And so a lot of us decided we better go into some public relations work there. And I would hit golf balls at major league ballparks from home plate out to center field, and then get on the mic and tell the fans to come out and watch us play golf at this tournament that was nearby. And then there was one time Shirley Spork and I went to a boxing match, and we were supposed to get in the ring, after the match was over, and get on the microphone. Well, this one fellow was just pulverizing this other fellow, and a lot of blood, excuse me, but I got woozy at that. But didn't bother Shirley. She hopped through the ropes and got in the ring and got the microphone and told those boxing fans to come out and watch us play golf at this tournament nearby. So we did a lot of public relations work there to keep us going. And one other thing, is it Ted? I had written down your name as Kim.
Yes.
Is it Ted?
Yes,
Ted?
Yes, it is.
Ted and Cindy. Now I forgot what I was going to say. Well, one thing we did, the girls performed all the duties now handled by a paid LPGA staff. We had a tournament committee who handled the roping of the course, the pin placements, and made the rulings. We had a pairings committee, a social chairman, treasurer who wrote the checks to us after we played. They weren't mailed to us. And then 10% of our things went into the LPGA tourney treasury. So, it was really rough in those early days. And we appeared on radio and TV shows and press conferences and everything to try to build up to let people know that we could play golf too.
Yeah, and you guys did a fantastic job. Yeah, I think a lot of people don't realize, Marilynn, just how much hard work the group of you did to really, give a foothold, if you will, to what we see today. I think a lot of the players, the young ladies that are playing not only on the LPGA but even on the feeder tour, if you will, the Symetra tour, I don't think really understand just where golf has come from for women. I mean, everybody understands the PGA Tour and things like that. And Cindy, I know you've got some questions, and obviously I want you to jump in here as well. But you guys have really set the groundwork for people like Cindy Millers and like Annika Sorenstam and all of these other great lady professionals that have followed you, and a job well done. I want to share one really quick thing about Shirley Spork, I have to say, and then Cindy, I want you to jump in here. About a year ago, I had the opportunity to interview Shirley on my other evening show, Golf Talk Live, and it was a very, very wonderful interview. But what was very funny about it was it got to the point about 45 minutes. She had an hour as well, but 45 minutes into the conversation, she just abruptly ended and said, "Well, I got to go. It's Amy Alcott's birthday, and I'm invited to the party." And that was about it. So
that's Shirley for you.
And she was, I mean, she had a game plan. She had her evening planned out, and she gave me a great interview, but it was just very amusing how she sort of abruptly ended and said, "Well, I got to go." But anyways, I loved having her on, and would love to have her back.
Can I tell you about?
Go ahead.
We met at the National Intercollegiate Golf Tournament in Ohio State. We met there at the tournament in 1948. She won it in 47. I won it in 49. And we have been friends ever since. That's over 60 years, isn't it? And we talk on the phone 3 or 4 times a week. There are three of us founders still living, Shirley and Marlene Bossler and I. And we keep in touch with each other. Shirley's 91 and I'm 89, and we're still clicking along.
Well, we're honored that you are.
Let me tell you.
Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine. Let me
tell you a little bit more about.
Quick.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Marilynn. What I was going to say was, I wanted to just let the folks know first off about the tournament coming up real quick, and then you can by all means finish your thought. The tournament is, of course, the Marilynn Smith Charity Pro-Am, and it's going to be on Monday, October 1st at the Tuscany Falls at Pebble Creek in Goodyear, Arizona. of course, benefiting the Marilynn Smith Scholarship Fund, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. But Marilynn, sorry, go ahead. Please finish your thought, and then Cindy, I want you to
to go ahead
in.
and talk about the tournament. That's great. I appreciate you telling about it. Debbie and I are co-chair of the tournament, and we have a great committee. And last year we made $166,000, and we awarded $35,000 scholarships to help young women go to college. See, I hurt my knees playing golf, and I never had knee replacement. So my passion is now to raise money for this scholarship fund. That's what we work on about 11 months out of the year.
Right, and you guys do a fantastic job. Cindy, go ahead. We'll open up a little bit about the tournament, but I know as I said, you've got some questions, I'm sure, for Marilynn and Debbie.
Well, tell us how the kids get awarded the scholarships. What do they have to do to follow the process? Because I teach an awful lot of junior girls.
Good. Well, they apply at the LPGA Foundation and at the LPGA, and they have to. It goes on academics, community service, and golf. And we had about over 100 people that applied for the scholarships last year. And they come
Marilynn,
from,
if I can interject here, it's lpgafoundation.org, and there is a section on the website where it has the various scholarships that are available, and Marilynn's is there as well. And the thing that's important that I think is so fantastic is there are I believe 4 different scholarships available, and the other scholarships, aside from Marilynn's, they award one $5,000 scholarship a year. And through Marilynn's efforts, as well as those who are helping her, we award 30 of those. And as part of the application process, so there's an application, and similar to other grants, there are letters of recommendation, there are grades, and then there's an essay that the student has to write. And what's fascinating in the essays, there are several of us who evaluate, and on a point basis, we're looking for specific things within those applications, the essays, and the letters from a coach, from a business person, as well as from a teacher or a counselor at school, someone in the school system other than the golf coach. And it's very important that we hear the passion leap off the page from that student, as well as how the money is going to impact, how it's going to help her move forward. And if that's not addressed, well, unfortunately, she gets dinged for that. But it's fascinating to read. These girls are, as Marilynn said, they're amazing because they're all doing community service. They already play golf and they're accomplished with that. Whether they're going to move forward playing golf or not, golf has gotten them somewhere and taught them some life skills that are very, very important. They have to do community service and they have to have great grades.
Can I mention one?
I think that
Debbie?
Sure. Go ahead.
Caroline Inglis received one of my scholarships, and she's playing the tour now. And I was fortunate enough to meet her and follow her around at the Founders Cup last March. And she's a fine young girl and got one of the scholarships, so it's fun to see that she's on the tour.
Wow.
That's fantastic. I want to also just very quickly, and then Cindy, I'm going to jump back to you. I want to just mention something here because I think it's very important, just so that the listeners can appreciate some of the powerhouses of women's golf that have been past honorees through your tournament. Of course, Kathy Whitworth, who Cindy and I had the honor of having her as our very first guest here on the Women of Golf show 5 years ago, and was just an amazing woman to have on the show, just again full of knowledge and wealth about and love for the game. Of course, the late Carol Mann we've had on the show a couple of times, and unfortunately we lost her not too long ago. And as I mentioned, Shirley Spork, of course, who I had the opportunity to interview, but again, another powerhouse in golf. Hollis Stacy, Patty Sheehan, Nancy Lopez, of course, many people know Judy Rankin, Donna Capone, Betsy King, and, of course, Joanne Carner. So these are all great leaders and women in their own rights, Marilynn, but obviously have been honored through your tournament and so forth in past. I want you to maybe just talk a little bit, if you wouldn't mind, Marilynn, just about the importance, not just so much of helping these young ladies that you're doing through your scholarship funds, but some of the life lessons that you're hoping they're going to learn along the way.
Life lessons. Oh, that's a good one. I haven't never been asked that before. Well, you know, the golf teaches us a lot. It teaches a lot about ourselves too. It teaches etiquette, and oh golly, help me. I'm going blank here.
Debbie, go ahead.
Debbie,
if you need
help
to jump
me.
in.
I don't know. I've lost it. It's time for me to go now and have bye.
It is not time for you to go. Well, let's take Carolyn Inglis as an example. And when she was an incoming freshman to college, she had a lot of struggle within her family because her dad had recently been diagnosed with leukemia, and she's the first to say that being able to not only receive the scholarship, but Marilynn writes letters, you know, that inspiration to keep going and to move forward. And I think that golf in itself is one of those activities that helps us persevere. And when you talk about, as far as some of the things that Marilynn just mentioned, the things that you can learn about yourself as well as learn about others, some of the things that we like to, I'm the first to admit that when I interviewed people, I would take them to go play golf, because here I was president of a company, and that's probably intimidating enough to have an interview with the president, but to do it with a woman and on the golf course, you know, I always watched for things like when you're in a difficult situation, when the other person was in a tough spot, how did he handle himself? You know, did he just roll with the flow? Did he make excuses? Was he aggressive? Was he a risk taker, or was he risk averse? I mean, those are a lot of things that you can learn about others and still know that people are learning about yourself. But it is a lot about how we handle ourselves, and as Marilynn says, you learn a skill set about respect and about integrity and perseverance. A lot of the first T related tenets that exist with courtesy and responsibility and confidence and overall sportsmanship. Those are things that you carry into your workplace. There are things that you carry into your relationships in your families and with your friends. It's powerful.
And also, Ted and Cindy and Debbie, it's a game of a lifetime. Lots of other sports you have to quit, you know, at a certain age, but you can play forever. And also, it's a great family sport. You know, like the father and the mother can play with the children, make a foursome. It's just wonderful. I think Debbie has a daughter that plays golf, and I don't know about her son, but her husband does. He has dancing feet when he swings.
Marilyn's always telling him to hold his finish.
Hold your finish. To teach golf after I played the tour, and it was fun to teach and to see people get better, you know, and give them different tips. There's one. Can I tell you one tip that was told me that no one ever had told me when I was taking lessons, and that was the forefinger and thumb of the right hand and the toe of the club to the target. And if you do that, you hit the ball straight every time. That was taught to Mickey Wright and Ruth Jessen and me by Harry Pressler, a golf teacher out in California. And I think that, now you just got a $100 lesson right there on the radio.
Well, I appreciate that. I want to, Cindy, I want to ask you something. Yeah, Cindy, I want you to jump in here as well. But I want to ask you something, because Cindy obviously teaches obviously a variety of people, but as she mentioned a moment ago, particularly a lot of young girls. And I know that there's a lot of life lessons in addition to golf skills that she teaches them. Cindy, how important is it when you're working with some of these young ladies, is it to make sure that not only do they understand how to, put the club face on the ball, but understanding from the sort of the mental side of things to conduct themselves out in the golf course? How important is that?
It's probably more important than how they hit the ball. Don't you think?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree.
What do you think, Marilynn?
Oh, I think you're right. I bet you're a good teacher. Where do you teach? Up in the Northeast?
Buffalo.
Oh, wow, yeah. Great. I hope I get to meet you sometime.
Well,
I've met you a few times, but it's been a while since I've seen you, and you are the best.
How long have you been teaching golf, Cindy? How long have you been involved in the game? As a youngster, did you start playing?
I've been a member of the LPGA since 1979.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I played on the tour for 3 years, and then I married a PGA Tour player, Alan Miller, and I've been teaching since 1983.
That's great.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
and she does a fantastic.
How to behave is really important.
How you what?
I said teaching students how to behave on the golf course is very important.
Yes, ma'am. Does your husband play pretty?
There was one day I went over to a golf course where I had to pick something up, and I had my son with me, and he was in grade school at the time, and he'd taken some introductory lessons as part of an extracurricular program after school, and so he came out of the car with me as we were walking through the parking lot to go into the clubhouse, and he grabbed my hand and he said, "Mom, we have to walk respectfully. We're at the golf course." Through the parking lot. But he knew it had been drilled into him that there's a whole different code of honor around golf.
Great.
Right. Well, and that is so true. And Cindy and I have had the honor and pleasure of really speaking with a lot of the young up-and-coming players on the Symetra Tour. Each week we get to interview the winners, of course, of the various events. And it's amazing, Cindy, would you agree that how together these young ladies really are? I mean, how not just about their game, but just as overall individuals, just how really with it they are.
Absolutely. It's amazing. They're so mature. I think, the game teaches you life lessons. We all know that. It's just absolutely amazing how smart they are, how committed they are, how well they know themselves. It's awesome what this game will do for people.
Yeah, and as Cindy said, that they really understand themselves. We've had some players, Marilynn and Debbie, who have come on and through various parts of their career either maybe have sustained a minor injury that has taken them out of the game for a little while, and they've had to cope with that sort of mental fortitude, if you will, to get themselves back in shape and get back out on the golf course. And then there's others, Cindy, we just had, I believe it was last week, where, she actually felt that she lost a little bit of her game, if you will, along the way, and really was struggling on whether she was going to get, stay in the game or get the heck out. And she decided to really dig deep. So golf teaches you a lot of things that can help build a foundation, I believe, again, not only on the golf course, but in life as well. There's so many lessons. So I want to talk a little bit more about the tournament. There's some other things, and Debbie, obviously, you can help out here. In addition to obviously participating in the event, there's some great ways that they can donate to help out through the different scholarship funds. So maybe, Debbie, if you want to just sort of touch on that, some of the great ways that they can donate and get involved in that way, and where they can go to get more information.
Absolutely, because I think you're right. There are a lot of people who aren't able to come out to Phoenix to play in the tournament. There's a Sunday Tea the Day prior, which is a meet and greet, and Ron Syrak comes and interviews Marilynn and Shirley, as well as our participating honoree this year, Sandra Palmer, which is a wonderful event. It's free. It's open to the public, and anyone is invited to come. Yet, for those who aren't, able to participate that way, Marilynn has the uncanny ability to acquire things that are available in a silent auction and a raffle. And, she can just call up Rolex and say, would you send a watch?
No, honey, I didn't call them up. I went to a tournament and met this lady at Rolex. I met her.
You've nurtured that relationship, and now you're in a position to simply make a phone call is really the point. And because you are the queen, you know that. At any rate, so there is a raffle, and I do believe that the Rolex will look good on anyone. And there are 3 draws, and the first draw is for the Rolex watch. The second is for a ping putter that Marilynn used to win a tournament. And the third is a ping driver. It's a certificate so that someone can go get fit and go ahead and get a driver. And in order to purchase a raffle ticket, which will set you back $10, you can go to msmithproam.com, msmithproam.com, and select the register button, and then you'll see the options for buying the raffle tickets will be toward the top there. So that's one way. And also on msmithproam.com, if you don't want to purchase raffle tickets, that's okay. You can simply make a donation. There's a Donate Now button. And then later this week, and Ted, I'll have to follow up with you, and perhaps you can help us get the word out. We'll have our auction. Our auction will be online, and that will go live. And there are some pretty amazing things that are in this auction that you won't find elsewhere. So, for example, you mentioned Carol Mann earlier. We have a player card signed by Carol Mann, and clearly that's priceless, and you're not going to find another one of those anywhere. There's a signed Kathy Whitworth player card, as well as one for Joanne Carner. And we even have a 1947 Louise Suggs signed scorecard from the 1947 Women's Western Golf Association, their Open Championship. It's in mint condition. She signed it twice, and she actually won that tournament. It was considered a major tournament, and she won it as an amateur, in fact. She beat Dorothy Kirby in match play. So anyhow, there's some amazing things that will be in the auction that for anyone who's a collector or just a lover of golf will want to have. There's even a Ciray Pack signed U.S. Open golf ball from when she won. So just some fascinating collector things.
Debbie, can I just add one thing? Like one ticket for $10, 3 for $25, and 7 tickets for $50.
On the raffle.
On the raffle, yes.
Yeah. So to increase that. Well, I think that's fantastic that you've got so many great items available through the silent auction. And yes, by all means, Debbie, once you've got all the particulars together, send that off to me, and I'll make sure that I put that out through all of my social media networks and that as well, just to give it an extra push. I know that
Thank you.
Cindy, you're very welcome, always welcome. We're glad to help out anyway.
Ted,
Cindy, you
play.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead. Yep, go ahead.
Where do you live? Where do you live?
In Panama City. I live in Panama City Beach, Florida, but I'm originally from Canada.
Oh, wow. I was hoping you could come to our tournament, but I guess you can't. Wish you could play in it. Could you come and play in it? Are you an amateur?
No, I'm actually a golf professional as well. I would love to play in it. Unfortunately, I can't this year because I won't be here, but I may have to pencil it in for next year. How's that?
There you go.
Perfect.
Yeah, I would love that by all means. But in the meantime, Cindy and I will be more than happy to help plug it and raise awareness for really a great cause. Cindy and I are very passionate about obviously growing the game in general, but particularly in women's golf, and that's one of the reasons why we do this particular program. We get to really have the honor and pleasure of speaking with some great ladies like yourselves, and as I said, some of the up-and-comers that are new to the game. And Cindy, as a player, you've had the opportunity to battle it out there in the field, if you will. I want you to maybe explain for our audience a little bit just some of the challenges and really how difficult the game can be and some of the things that you do to sort of overcome it when you're faced with different challenges.
You know what? I think I'd rather hear it from Marilynn, since she is one of the founders of the LPGA.
Give me the question again. Give me the question.
All right, I'll shorten it because I can get a little long-winded, so I'll shorten it. Talk about, Marilynn, if you wouldn't mind, about some of the challenges that you face as a golf professional out on the golf course and what you do to overcome it.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Your own game. And
well, when you're playing in a tournament, as I remember back, my timing was very important, and sometimes my timing would get off. So my pro in Wichita, Kansas, would tell me to sing a waltz tune like da 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 dum da dum, and then that kind of gets your swing back into rhythmical things. Sometimes under pressure, if you're close to winning or you're playing very well, and you think, gosh, maybe I'm going to shoot a 65 or something, I think your tempo probably. Do you find that true, Cindy, too, in your playing?
Absolutely. We all start to try too hard.
Yes. And
make something happen instead of allowing it to happen.
And complete your swing and hold your finish, and try. And rhythm and tempo is so important because the transition, from your backswing to your downswing is important, and being in the slot and all those things you do to hit a straight shot. And sometimes it can be quite a challenge when you're playing in a tournament and try to get all those factors going. And you don't want to think about too much either. You can overthink.
Well, Marilynn, you had a situation where you talked about you were one of the first lady pros to go left-hand low.
Oh, my gosh. Let me tell you about that. I was playing with Johnny Pott back in the 60s, and he had his left hand low, and I tried it, and I thought, so I went out in the tournaments and tried it, and used it, and was doing very well. And everybody came up and said, gosh, you look funny putting that way. Well, back in the 50s and 60s, a girl didn't want to look funny, so I changed, which was the worst thing I ever did because I was very bad putter for 5 feet in. I had a tendency to aim to the left. And this, a left-hand low, as you know, squares your shoulders up, and it's a marvelous way to start. And I think when I'm teaching somebody, I always start in left-hand low. Do you teach that too, Cindy?
I don't necessarily teach it, but what you just said about squaring up your shoulders, I think I'm going to try that because I think that's brilliant.
I think it's more about, Ted, when you were talking about some of the challenges on tour of being a player out there, that whole perception of not wanting to look bad. And Marilynn, there was another time that you were playing in a tournament and it kind of got down to the end. If you can share the story, I think it was like on a par 3 and it was a big downhill thing, and by the time you got down to the green, your ball had disappeared.
I know what you mean.
Mm-hmm.
You mean in Palm Springs, that tournament I was playing in, par 3?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I marked my ball and gave it to my caddy, and when I went to get my ball from him, he said, I don't have it. I said, well, I just gave it to you. No, I don't have it. And do you know that I had to play a lost ball because I couldn't find my ball, and he had it? And sometimes these caddies, they would bet, and he was betting against me. Can you believe that?
Wow.
I know it. And I missed the cut by one shot. Oh, man. Well, you have a lot of crazy things. Go ahead,
I
Ted.
hope you gave him a swift kick.
No,
that.
I was stupid. I kept him on as my caddy. I should have fired him. But I don't know. I must be screwy sometimes. I should have fired him violently.
Well, you know what ladies, what's interesting, in this game, as we've talked a little bit about here, is there are so many challenges that we all face when we're out in the golf course, whether it be, as Cindy and I do, whether teaching the game or playing the game, as Marilynn and Cindy, you do. And it's amazing how many people, believe it or not, are drawn to the game today. We see through great organizations like Top Golf, and even though it's not classified as what we would consider traditional golf, it's tapping into a younger generation, getting them interested in the game, and trying to create sort of a fun atmosphere to get them sort of at least enthusiastic. Because unfortunately, the perception still is out there that golf, and Marilynn, you kind of mentioned this a little bit earlier when you first, talked about golf, was it didn't really look like a whole lot of fun chasing this white ball around. Well, that's what a lot of people's perception today still is. So when you talk to, Marilynn, some of the young ladies that, whether it be through the scholarship fund or just in general, how do you explain golf to them today?
Oh, you mean like new players, young girls that are taking
Yes.
up the game? Well, I tell them,
Yes.
that it's a life. You can play forever. When you're old, and you can. It's like I said before. It's a good family sport, and it's a great challenge. It's something you never master. It's very hard to hit a ball that's not moving, and you have to have lessons, golf lessons. You just don't go out there and swing a golf club and hit a ball. And so the main thing is to go to a good golf teacher. We have a lot of wonderful women golf teachers, as Cindy is, and take some lessons.
Mm-hmm.
Take a series of lessons, and you'll enjoy the game because you get better. And the better you get, the more you're going to enjoy it. And you see these young girls at, 8, 9 years old, and they swing the club, and they have this special event, down at the Masters, where those kids come,
Yes.
drive, pitch, and putt.
Yep.
Isn't that great
Yep.
to see those youngsters and how well they play? And I think
Absolutely.
For sure.
fastest growing thing are girls golf. Golf is really, I think more girls are taking up the game now than ever before.
Yeah,
Is that enough?
you're exactly right, Marilynn. Yeah, no, that's perfect. Actually, just to throw out a quick stat, and then Cindy, I'm going to throw it back to you. I know you've got maybe another question here. That women in golf right now, you're right, is the fastest, especially young girls from age probably about 12, 13, right up to early 30s, represents probably about 30 to 35% of all new golfers coming into the sport. So it's certainly the LPGA organization and many of the great teacher professionals and players and legends of the game like yourself, Marilynn, have really done a phenomenal job in really introducing it to young girls. Cindy, go ahead, and I know you've got another question here, and then we'll sort of wrap it up with about the tournament again.
Marilynn, tell us one story that really changed your life and made a difference in your career.
One story, gosh, boy, what a question! I've never thought of that. Say it again. One story that changed
story
my life.
Of something that happened that changed your life and your career.
Well, that's what happened with my baseball. Coming home, and that changed my life forever. I wasn't going to pitch for the St. Louis Cardinals, and which I wanted to do, and so that was taking up golf. That was a big challenge, and changed my life forever. And what a wonderful way to meet people. The great recollections that I have. A lot of people say those are the people that in those smaller towns like Spartanburg and Carrollton, Georgia, that had tournaments for us when they couldn't afford, to have the men's tournaments, and those people that had tournaments for us, that was the greatest joy, and also one of the main things that really was wonderful, that we were like a family. Only 13 of us started. As you know, we had amateurs that played with us in the tournaments to make up the field, and I've met some wonderful amateurs that we've kept in contact all these years. And you meet so many wonderful people through golf. That's been probably the greatest joy in my life. And through golf, I met Debbie Waitkus, and what a great friend we have become. I learned so much from her. She's one of the smartest people I've ever met, and she paid me $5.
You don't get out much, do you, Marilynn?
Oh, yeah. So there you have it, Ted. Anyway, you have a great voice, Ted. You ought to be on the radio.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
If I can share a quick
yes,
story. So this past weekend, Angela Stanford, as you know, successfully won the Avion. And so Angela, she's just a wonderful, wonderful woman, and she is one of the sponsors of Marilynn's of the tournament that we have. And shortly afterwards, Marilynn and I spoke on the phone. It was early in the morning, and just, wasn't that exciting and blah, 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 just celebratory. And Marilynn is sitting there crying tears of joy right along with Angela.
She cried,
I had sent Angela just a quick congratulatory email, and by golly, she actually took the time to respond in the midst of all her basking, and I let her know that Marilynn had shared the tears of joy with her, and Angela responds and says, "Wow, please give her a hug for me and thank her. One thank you is never enough, but please let her know how thankful I am for her." And something that I don't know if many of you are aware, so of course Marilynn has written Angela a letter, and I believe you've also written Amy Olson a letter. Is that correct, Marilynn?
I'm going to. She didn't win, but I'm going to say, although she didn't win, she played golf, and I'm sure she'll win many tournaments. Nice person.
A nice person. What goes around comes around here, Marilynn. Marilynn keeps encouraging and nurturing others who are on the tour, even those who did not necessarily win. She's writing a letter every week pretty much to the winner, just to say congratulations and to let them know that she's thinking of them and that that she has a fan. And can you imagine how that must feel to get a congratulatory letter from one of the LPGA co-founders? Marilynn, you are a gift.
Yeah.
And you just keep on giving and encouraging and nurturing. I am so blessed to have you in my life.
Oh, well, you're going to make me
we
cry
all
now. Don't. It's too early to cry. Thank you, sweetie. Oh, gosh.
Well, definitely some great words. Thank you for that, Debbie. I just want to remind everybody very quickly, if I can, as we're getting close to having to wrap up our time here. For those tuning into the show this morning, just a reminder that the 10th annual Marilynn Smith LPGA Charity Pro-Am is going to be taking place 2 weeks from yesterday, on Monday, October 1st, 2018, at the Tuscany Falls at Pebble Creek in Goodyear, Arizona. And Debbie, I'm just going to let you sort of take it from there. For those that want to maybe reach out, learn more about it, or participate through donations, very quickly how they can go about doing that again.
If you would simply go to msmithproam.com, and there is contact information there both for Marilynn and for myself to reach out if you're looking to make a donation or if you're looking to participate in some way. And the day prior, whether or not you play golf, maybe there's someone that you are encouraging, maybe it's a youngster. The Sunday Tea, that'll be at Orange Tree Golf Resort in Scottsdale, Arizona, where Ron Cyrack will interview the players. There will be an expo with various golf organizations. Jack Grace USA Shoes will be there. And then we'll also have a silent auction. Marilynn and Shirley will be signing copies of their books there. And it's just a nice love fest with a lot of history in the room that will be shared. It's a great way for someone to come and speak, meet and greet and speak and learn and ask questions of these wonderful, wonderful, amazing, trailblazing women.
Can I say something about my book?
You certainly
can.
can.
Go ahead, Marilynn.
I've written a book, Have Clubs Will Travel, and if someone wants it, it's $20 plus $3 shipping. I could personalize it and mail it to them.
That's also available on the tournament website. You can buy a copy of Marilynn's book at msmithproam.com.
Yeah, but you can't. I can't personalize it.
Yeah. Yes, you can. You certainly can,
yes.
Marilynn.
You just did.
No,
you just
I
did.
can't do it if I don't have it.
That's when I call you and tell you who to send the book to.
Yeah, I'm sure, Marilynn, that Debbie will help you find a way to do that. What a great treasure. Well, ladies, unfortunately, our hour's wrapped up. I can't believe how fast it went by, and I want to, on behalf of Cindy and I, we want to thank both Debbie Waitkus and, of course, legendary Marilynn Smith for joining us this morning on the Women of Golf show. And again, just to remind everybody that October 1st, Monday, October 1st, that the Marilynn Smith Charity Pro-Am will be playing in Arizona, and I'll read out very quickly again in a moment where that's going to be. And if you want to learn more about the tournament or maybe somehow be involved through a donation or you can purchase Marilynn's book, go to msmithproam.com and you'll get all of the great information there, including how you can donate as well. And as always, I urge everybody to support the LPGA Foundation and also the LPGA organization in general. There's a lot of great people involved in that. Ladies, thank you very much for joining us this morning on the Women of Golf. It's been a pleasure. And Debbie, of course, please let me know when you have the information for the silent auction. We'll be sure to get that out there as well. But thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you so
Ted,
much.
And thank you, Cindy.
Yeah, great talk. Love you. God bless.
All right. Bye-bye.
God bless.
You too. Bye-bye. All right. As I said, October 1st at Tuscany Falls at Pebble Creek in Goodyear, Arizona, the Marilynn Smith LPGA Charity Pro-Am Tournament will be taking place to, of course, benefit the Marilynn Smith Scholarship Fund. So please, again, visit the website msmithproam.com to learn more about the tournament and how you can help out a great and worthy cause. What a treasure, Cindy. We just got a moment or two, but that Marilynn is still at this stage of her life, not only involved in golf through her tournament and other functions, but just always wanting to do something to give back.
Absolutely. How lucky are we?
Yeah, it's she just has a way of just reaching out and helping others and I mean to be able to do 30 scholarship funds like that every year, that's amazing. I mean, that's just somebody that really is passionate about what she does, and I think and obviously you can tell in her voice that she still enjoys being a part of golf, and she's still going strong, so God bless her.
Absolutely.
I know you're going to be off. Where are you going next week? Remind everybody here, and I'm going to be sort of batching
LPGA,
it, if you will, on the show.
Yeah, the LPGA Regional Summit in Savannah, and it's called the Savannah Swing, and there's a Pro-Am and a Pro-Pro, and the Summit, and then we have an executive committee meeting, so I am not able to be on the show. So, Ted, you're going to have to do it all by yourself.
Yeah, I'm going to have to wing it all by myself, but you'll come and give us an update when you come back the following week. But I will figure something out for next week. All right. Well, on behalf of Cindy Miller and I, again, we want to thank Debbie Waitkus and Marilynn Smith for joining us this morning on the Women of Golf show. Again, what an honor and a pleasure. And for those of you tuning in each and every Tuesday morning from 9 to 10 a.m. Eastern here on the blogtalkradio.com network, thank you very much. Keep continuing to tune into the show, help spread the word. We want to help grow the game, particularly in women's golf. So we will see you, or I will see you next Tuesday as Cindy is off on another adventure, and she'll join me the following week. But God bless everybody. Have a great weekend. Thank you for joining us on the Women of Golf. Thanks, Cindy.
Thanks, Ted. Bye-bye.
Bye.